10 micro habits how to detach from your need for approval to stop the endless chase of validation. This video is for anyone who's anxiously attached and who's with an avoidantly attached partner. If you ever felt like you need your partner's approval to feel okay, this episode is for you. But this can be also applied for friendships, for colleagues, and in general. You know the cycle when you ask, are we okay? You still love me? Just to feel this relief. But then your avoidant partner pulls away, pulls back, withdraws, making you feel anxious. So you seek more reassurance. You cling tighter, and then the cycle continues and continues. And it's this constant dialogue. Am I doing this right? Do they approve of me? Do they actually like me still? Do they even love me? What if I'm not good enough for my partner? And this is not just about people pleasing. This is about survival. Your brain doesn't care about if you're happy. Your brain thinks about, are we going to survive this? This is your nervous system's way of trying to secure belonging, trying to prevent rejection. But every time when you seek validation outside of yourself, you are giving away a piece of your soul. This also applies for friendships, colleagues, families, because every time you seek validation from someone else, it tells your brain, you know what, I'm not good enough. I need someone else to feel good enough. So the micro habits I'll talk about today will help you to detach from your need of validation, and it helps you to reclaim back your power. And I'm so excited for this episode because I personally have achieved so much progress in my attachment healing journey through just this 1% micro habits and steps over hours of deep work, because I'm someone as well who learns through micro action steps, who are applying these tools every day rather than doing like hours of deep work. And a lot of my clients also tend to more procrastinate and working so many hours a day, or have kids and families, so they don't have 3 hours a day to just, do this inner work, and rather create healthy, secure relationships through these 2-minute micro shifts. Disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or doctor. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or heal any mental health condition. If you're in an abusive relationship or dealing with severe mental health challenges, always seek professional advice. So what actually happens though when you learn to detach? You are living in, their approval rather than in your own inner peace. You're exhausted, you're stressed, and you're totally disconnected from yourself. And your entire mood depends on someone else's words of what someone else does for you, or how they show up in your environment. So the result is then you maybe feel powerless, or you're just, riding this emotional wave. And when you have a bad day, you're hoping for them to make you feel okay. But instead, if you, change this, you can actually learn to validate yourself. If you keep asking, hey, are we okay? Over and over again, you're actually terrified of being abandoned. And with this, you also overwhelm your partner, especially if they're avoidant attached, and create this pressure of, you have to commit to me every day, tell me every day that we are okay, that you still love me. And this is something very hard for someone who's avoidant attached, who struggles with being vulnerable, who struggles to share their emotions, and who even struggles to say these, 3 words, I love you, in general. And if you pressure them to say this every day, this can create this huge distrust, because then you think, hey, why can't my partner say this? Then your partner thinks, hey, why does my partner not trust me? That why do I have to say it every day? And that is very hard for both of you. You feel like this, why can't they just say it? They think like, why do I have to say it to prove it? And it's just getting more and more of a struggle between the two of you. And the truth is, a lot of my clients, their partner is reassuring them, that are showing up for them. But the thing is, if you have an anxious attachment style, no amount of reassurance will ever make you feel secure if you don't feel secure from within you. If you have an insecure attachment style, you will always feel empty and always craving for more and more. So the real damage is your self-worth shrinks to the size of their attention. You will then attract partners who will never fully meet your needs, and then your anxiety becomes your closest relationship. And then you will always lose yourself in the process of trying to keep someone else. And when you don't detach, you're trading your entire sense of self for moments of temporarily relief. And that's a very high price to pay. By the way, hi, I'm Yula. I'm the Anxiously Secure coach, and welcome to the Anxiously Secure podcast. But today we talk about the 2-minute micro habits that can help you to detach from your need of approval from your partner or from other people in your life. And my personal favorite habits are habit 6 and 7, and the bonus one in the end as well. They're very good. So let me know in your comments on YouTube which ones are your favorite in the end. And when I drafted this episode, I actually remembered so many micro shifts and couldn't even reduce them to just 10 micro habits. So I think I will turn this into a series of like 30 micro shifts for lots of different episodes and topics of like how to detach from someone emotionally when you are easily soaking up someone's emotions, how to detach from someone after a breakup, how to detach from someone if you're struggling with people pleasing. So if you want more micro habit episodes, give me a shout on YouTube or reply on any of my emails so I can know exactly what I can focus on next. And the big promise is if you commit to just one of these micro shifts for at least 30 days, you stop seeking other people's approval on autopilot and start really trusting yourself more instead of just, feeling out of control of your emotions and chipping away from your self-worth. So here they are, the 10 micro habits to detach from your need of approval, especially from your avoidant attached partner. Let's go. Reassurance, redirection. So what does it mean? When you feel the urge of ask your partner for reassurance or validation, like, are you mad at me or are we okay? Pause for a moment and instead ask yourself, am I okay right now? This simple question really shifts the focus from your partner or from your friend or from your mom to yourself. So why does this work? By redirecting your attention inwards, you interrupt the pattern of seeking someone else's validation. And over time, this teaches your nervous system and your anxious brain this sense of security and self-worth. And it creates this inner calm. And it teaches your brain, I don't need other people to feel okay. I can validate myself. And this is a very short and very quick habit, but it's one of the most powerful ones you can do if you're used to seek other people's approval. This empowers you to feel okay regardless of your partner's mood or actions. It's a reminder that you have the power to choose your emotional state. And you can also add the mantra, I choose how I feel. I choose my peace. Micro habit 2, that another 2-minute habit you can do here is the 2-minute validation delay. So when you feel the urge of ask for validation again, pause. It sounds similar, but it's not. Hold on. You're just going to pause and then you set a timer for just 2 minutes and commit to not seeking that validation during that time. Instead, take a couple of deep breaths and again, remind yourself in this time to realize that you're already inherently worth. And you see that you can self-soothe within this 2 minutes. And afterwards, you can still seek other people's validation if you want to, and if that need for validation is still there. This is telling your brain, you know what? You can still seek people's validation. You can still do that, but at least give yourself a moment to breathe first, to slow down first. Because if you tell yourself, no, you can't do this, don't seek people's validation, you are not allowed to, your brain is focused on you want to do this even more. It's like if you're on a diet and tell yourself, don't eat that chocolate, don't do this. Your brain is focused on the chocolate, right? You're always thinking about food more and more. That's why you want to tell yourself, you know what? You can do this. It's totally allowed, but in 2 minutes. And it slows also down the urge of taking the action right now. Because if you are in fight or flight, everything's urgent. You have to do it right now. You need to ask for validation right now. Are we okay? Are we good? Am I pretty? And what do you think of my dress? And you think you need the answer right now. But by slowing down, you're already intentionally telling your brain, there's no rush. There's no urgency. You're not being chased by a tiger. You're safe. And this changes everything. And in a mantra you can tell yourself as well is, I'm safe, I've got this, I can slow down, and in 2 minutes, I can reassess. Micro habit 3 you can do to learn to detach from your need for approval is, if not now, then another time. And that's all about trust in the timing. So when your mind starts worrying about, why aren't they committing? Why aren't they talking about the future plans anymore? Why is my partner not talking about the marriage or investing in buying a house or building a family and all of these future plans? Or what if I lose them? Take a deep breath and remind yourself, if not now, then another time. If it's meant to be, it will be. Then refocus your energy on yourself. And it's all about building trust that everything will happen as it should happen. Anxiety often makes us believe that our current relationships is the only chance of love, and they are the one and only. They are our savior, and if it doesn't work out with our partner, it's the biggest tragedy, and we have to cling on to that what we have right now, because our partner is so special. There's no one out there like them. But this mindset shift reminds us that love is abundant, and there's 8 billion people in this world. And if it's not meant for you in that moment, it will happen another time. So don't cling onto this out of fear, out of control. Let go and release the pressure that everything has to work right now. And this reminds us that love is really abundant, and what's truly meant for us won't slip away. It's a way of telling your brain, I trust in my timing of my life. And it might make you feel more relaxed in your relationship, and you can remind yourself of this every day. You can journal it. You can listen to meditations before going to bed, that everything will work out how it should work out. Instead of really grasping for, you need to have certainty that everything will work out with this specific partner or in this specific way, because we don't know what's happening in future. But we should know that everything will work itself out somehow, even if we don't know exactly how. The how doesn't matter. We just know we will be okay, and we will be able to handle challenges just as we have managed challenges in the past. So go back in the past and say, you know what, these are all the challenges I've overcome already. And yes, maybe this didn't work out as planned, but I've now learned from this challenge as well. It's a more peaceful way to approach love. Micro habit 4, and I call this the validation hunger energy audit. Before responding to a text, agreeing to plans, or saying yes to a request, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this to get their approval? What validation am I secretly hoping right now from them? If I wasn't seeking their approval, if I would be completely secure in myself, extremely confident, and maybe even think about the most secure, confident, badass person right now, how would they respond? How would the best version of yourself respond? These are all questions you can ask yourself. Maybe write down the most powerful question for you, so you can then remind yourself of this one question, because our brain consciously can only focus on about, I think, 7 to 9 data points at a time. This habit helps you to recognize when you're actually acting from a place of, hey, I need validation, versus from a place of being authentic. By pausing to check in with yourself on your true feelings, you can then respond in a more aligned way, and not from a way that is aligned from this fear-based validation-seeking place. And by catching these moments, I've learned a lot about myself, what I actually needed and what I wanted, and to learn to detach more and more. And that increased my self-esteem so much. And you can tell yourself, my worth is not negotiable. I am enough exactly as I am. But I can also see that you might not be there yet. So you can tell yourself something you can believe at this time and point. And step number 5, a mirror pep talk. Now, every morning, take a few seconds to look at yourself in the mirror when you may be brushing your hair, and offer some kind, supportive words. Because in the morning, we are in this very hyper-suggestible state. where we are easily programmed for new beliefs. So it's important to not use negative words or thoughts we have usually a lot of times on autopilot when we look in the mirror, right? Especially if you're insecure or have an anxious attachment style. But instead of criticizing yourself, your appearance, and looking for flaws, try this. Say things like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way today. Or I've got this. Things that are neutral or more positive, but definitely not negative. So why does this work? By constantly speaking to yourself with compassion, you are retraining your brain to default to kindness rather than criticism and putting yourself down and being your inner bully. Over time, this practice can help you shift your inner dialogue and help you to become more kinder to yourself. Because if you are someone who is always seeking other people's approval, so it's so important that you start with yourself first. Imagine next to you a person who shouted you all of these negative thoughts. This inner self is saying all of these thoughts to you all day long, 60,000 thoughts of them, and 80% of them are negative. So even if you just do this 2-minute habit of being kind to yourself, this does make a huge difference if you do this every day, because thoughts are extremely powerful. If you have a thought of, I'm ugly, oh, my nose is too big, I've put on another kilo, or I'm too skinny, or I'm too tall, then you feel like crap, right? You don't feel good enough. If you have a thought like, hey, you know what? I've got this. I'm doing the best I can. Today's going to be a good day. You feel much more lighter and empowered. So now imagine you saying these words out loud to yourself. This has a much stronger effect. So I highly recommend doing this in the morning or in the evening or even both times, because it's even stronger. If you do this in front of the mirror and look into your eyes, this creates an even deeper connection to yourself. And I've been doing this over the last month, and I can really see a huge progress, because I used to be an extreme insecure person. I used to hate my body. I used to have the worst thoughts about myself, and actually I've put on a lot of weight over the last month because of lots of different reasons: hormones, food, working on my laptop all day. But I've been very compassionate and kind to myself, and going through this journey with kindness, this has helped me so much in this. Seek validation in yourself first and make this a habit. So, and the mantra you can tell yourself is, I am my own best friend and my biggest supporter. I want to talk to you about my 2 resources that in relation to this. First is my How to Stop Overthinking Your Relationship course. Look, here's the truth. You cannot control your partner, right? The more you try to control, analyze, and predict, the more anxious you become. You're actually reinforcing these habits. The more you overthink, the more you're trying to predict the future. So this 4-step course is designed to help you stop this mental spiral. It's not about managing your partner's behavior, by the way, but it's about managing your response, because that's the only thing we can control: our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions to create the new results in our relationship. So you learn how to recognize your overthinking patterns, the root causes of why we overthink as someone who has an anxious attachment style, interrupting the cycle, and rebuilding trust in yourself, and quick ways how to stop the cycle, and long-term ways. And the second resource is also very powerful. This is called the Text Anxiety course. It's also a mini course. Text anxiety is something I call if someone is obsessively thinking about how fast someone is texting you or what are they saying, and worrying about the communication in texting behaviors, and worrying about, hey, they have read my text but they haven't replied, and all of these micro things what are happening in the communication of like WhatsApp and phone calls. But here's the thing. This has nothing to do with them and all to do with you and your anxious brain and your upbringing. It's never about how often they reply or how fast they reply or what they say. This is about your anxiety and your anxious attachment style. But this is the great news, because you can only change your style and your anxiety. We can communicate our preference, but then what they're doing is up to them. And the best way is to learn to communicate in a healthy way, in a grounded and detached way. But the most empowering thing is we can work on our anxiety first. So in this course, I'll help you to really detach and to stop obsessing over text within 21 days. Because as a reminder, it's not your fault that you have anxiety and that you have an anxious attachment style, but now it's really your responsibility to do the inner work. And I love to be your guide and coach to do this work with you. And both courses are still on beta round, meaning it's super reduced. The prices will go up, I think, by end of this year, so you can still have access right now to the reduced versions of it until the prices will go up and until I will re-record everything to make sure everything is much more up to speed. Right now it's in this draft form where it's a little bit imperfect, but you will still get the results so far. And the best thing is right now you can email me any questions you have during the time and I give you guided email support. But that's just because it's the beta round. Don't miss out on that. And the links for the two courses are in the description below if you're interested. Micro habit number 6, shift from do they approve to do I approve. And by the way, I've seen this so many times, especially if you start dating someone. Anxious attachers are often asking the wrong question. They're only focusing on do they like me? Do they choose me? Instead of, do I actually like that person? Would I choose this person? And the same you can keep asking yourself if you're already in a relationship. So whenever you catch yourself wondering, do they like this? Do they approve of this? Take a moment for yourself and redirect this question. Say, hey, wait a second, do I like this? Do I approve of this? Make the habit on checking on with your feelings and opinions first. For example, if you're getting dressed and you keep asking for your partner's opinion about what you should wear or what lipstick they like, ask, do I like this? And stop asking for people's opinion. Or even for bigger things like a career choice, stop asking for everyone's approval or what they think. Go with your own gut first. Develop self-trust and just go with it. And if it's wrong later on and you regret the decision, at least you learned from it and you learned more about yourself. So why does this work? By constantly prioritizing your own approval over other people's approval, you're gradually strengthening your self-trust and reducing the need for external validation. This is especially helpful for anyone who has an anxious attachment style, who really tends to default to seeking other people's approval. And I've been practicing this habit too, and it's been eye-opening, really. Instead of trusting other people, and even for little things like I never knew what to order for dinner, and when my partner ordered something, I always wanted what he had. But in the end, I let go of this need. There's no right or wrong choice. I can seek my own approval and figure out at the end what I liked and what I didn't like. And every time I choose my own approval, I felt more empowered. And I found more pieces of who I actually was as a person. So you can tell yourself, my approval is the only approval I need. And there's no right or wrong decisions either. And now my absolute favorite micro habit number 7 of how to stop seeking other people's approval is don't add meaning to things. So whenever someone doesn't affirm or agree with you, catch yourself before adding meaning to their response. Remind yourself their reaction is not about me. This is not personal. If they don't tell you you look good, or if they tell you negative things or give you a silent treatment, or your partner doesn't look up from his phone when you ask him for something, or you needed some reassurance or validation, don't take it personal. It's not about you, it's about them. Or for example, if you share an idea with your colleague and they don't seem very enthusiastic or maybe even are against your idea, don't take it personal. Don't make it mean that you're not good enough or that you're not creative enough. Don't add meaning into their words or their opinions. Just detach from this and say, you know what? This is their opinion. I have my opinion, and that's okay. If you are insecure, you often take everything personal. You think, okay, that means they don't like me now. This means I should never share my opinion anymore. And I get it because I used to be this person, but just detach from it. Just because they don't react in the way you wish they would doesn't mean anything about you, about your self-worth, about how enough you are, or how lovable you are, or how funny you are as a person. Not at all. And by telling yourself this over and over again, you strengthen yourself. By resisting the urge to adding meaning to everything, we can reduce the self-doubt and the tendency to make it too personal. But I always used to think a lack of enthusiasm in someone else's response meant I was wrong, or there was something wrong with me, or I'm funny enough, I should just be quiet next time. But learning to not add extra meaning into things like this has helped me so much more to add extra confidence in those kind of things and to express myself more. Something I told myself then was, their reaction is about them, not about me. And micro habit number 8 you can do is the energy bubble. Imagine this bubble allowing positive energy to get inside of your bubble, but anything else stays outside of it. Deflecting negative energy, anything that drains it, and that stays out of it. So when you are anxiously attached, seeking validation can feel like a need, as if someone's reassurance is the only way to feel okay. But relying on external validation can leave you feeling powerless or constantly on edge. But if you have this energy bubble, this can really help you protecting your energy. Take a moment to just imagine yourself surrounded by this protective bubble of light. This bubble can let in warmth and love and support, but it blocks out negativity, rejection and fears, and even the urge to chase validation. Picture yourself in this bubble whenever you feel like I need validation right now, and you feel like really centered and warm and love and really worthy and good enough. And you can shift inwards. Instead of grasping for validation, you remind yourself that you are enough, that you can decide on how you feel right now, that you are protected in your energy bubble. And this can help you to stop looking outwards. Visualization helps you create a sense of energetic boundaries. You train your mind to feel more shielded and resilient. You can tell yourself, my peace is my own, and I choose what I allow into my space, into my bubble. And it can help you to feel more grounded and less reactive, instead of spiraling over they're distant or how slow they reply, or if they don't give you validation at all. You can just tell yourself, you know what, you are safe in your own bubble. Nothing can touch you, nothing can stress you. You are your own safe place. Your energy is protected in your own bubble. I love this concept. Micro habit, the validation vault. Start collecting evidence of your worth and value if you're not sure yet that you are value and worthy, no matter of what someone else does, or that you are just born worthy on your own. So you could screenshot kind messages from friends, your loved ones, your partner, from colleagues, anything when someone gave you like a well done or told you something nice about yourself. Even work emails, an appraisal sheet. Journal any kind of moments when you felt proud of yourself, when other people told you something good about yourself. Create a folder on your phone, maybe even of pictures or screenshots, to remind yourself of these moments. Or like a confident folder when you felt very good in yourself. Look through the pictures, you can read through the kind messages and remind yourself of why you're good enough, why you're lovable, why someone else loves you, and why you are enough the way you are. So why does this work? By collecting proof of your worth, you're giving your brain really concrete evidence to reference when you have self-doubt. Because while we are all born worthy, sometimes you just need really to remind yourself of that. And this can act as a way of counterpoints to your negative self-talk and anxiety. And by reading them out loud, by sharing them with yourself, you can access all of the good positive emotions. And instead of asking for your partner to say it right now to you, you can just read it out to what he said to you, like half a year ago, 1 month ago, are just collecting them. It might sound a bit crazy, but trust me, this helps. And building your own validation vault has been a game changer for a lot of my clients personally, especially when they're starting to build the muscle of finding proven evidence every day in their life. And the secret is really building up new pieces of evidence every day for it. And then you see it in your everyday life too, more and more. The more you focus on these positive things, on these good things, the more you will see them in your life too. It's like your secret weapon against insecurity. Whenever I'm feeling down myself as well, I'm reminding myself of these moments. I don't have to go through my vault anymore. I don't need it anymore. But at the beginning, if you're starting your self-validation journey, this can be very powerful. And you can tell yourself, you know what, I'm worthy and valuable, and I even have receipts for that. And micro habit for today I have is a 30-second self check-in with yourself, or a 2-minute check-in. So take a few seconds each day to tune into yourself. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What do I need in this moment? Put a hand on your heart. Make yourself feel seen and heard and validated. And then later on during the day, really act on this in really small, tiny ways. Maybe just take a deep breath, maybe sip of water, maybe stretch your body. Why does this work? This habit creates a deeper connection with yourself and with your emotions, because so many times we are disconnected from ourselves and we just want our partner to validate us, to take care of our emotions. But if we can take care of our emotions first, the need for validation becomes second nature. By responding to our needs, we're strengthening this ability to self-soothe and regulate with our emotions first. You can tell yourself, I'm listening to my own needs and I matter. I feel seen and validated. This is the last bonus micro habit you can do to detach from your need for approval. Is we are all on level ground. So whenever you find yourself putting your partner or friends or family on a pedestal, imagine them not above you or better than you, but on the same level as you. Really visually imagine yourself all standing on the same level. Because if you have an anxious attachment style, you often think other people are better than you, you're not as good enough, you're not as lovable, and you have to earn your love. This habit interrupts the pattern by visually and mentally placing everyone equally on the same level. It reminds you that you are just as worthy and valuable as anyone else. And you don't have to think, oh my God, they have a better relationship. They are so much further ahead than you. They have already this amazing car and house and career, and you don't have this. But in fact it doesn't matter what they have. Look at what you have right now. And it doesn't mean they're happier than you. When I worked so much on attachment theory, I realized so many times that I always thought, I'm not okay, other people are okay. And by reminding myself, you know what, I am good enough, other people are good enough, and we are all on the same level, it made me stop chasing other people and made me stop comparing myself to others as well. And yeah, we are all equally worthy. There's no pedestaling. We are all on this ground level. And remember, these habits are never about achieving perfectionism or about not feeling insecure again, but they're about slowly, gently, through this 2 minute a day, retraining your brain to building more loving and trusting relationships with yourself first. And be patient and compassionate with yourself, with you every day, with these 1% actions a day. And every small step is a victory worth celebrating. Detachment is not about not caring, it's about caring for yourself so much that you refuse to compromise your peace, your worth, and your identity. And the key principles of emotional attachment is your worth is not negotiable. You are not responsible for managing other people's emotions. It's not about prioritizing your peace. And boundaries are an act of self-love, not rejection. And you don't need anyone else's approval to feel good enough. But you need to realize that you need your own approval. And again, these habits are not a quick fix. They're just a journey of rewiring years of ingrained patterns. And be patient with yourself as well and kind. And my mantra for today is, I'm secure within myself. My peace is not determined by external validation. I trust my journey. And remember, every time you choose yourself, you're breaking generational patterns of anxious attachment. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing and breaking the cycle that came before you. So keep showing up and keep choosing you. And remember, change in your relationship starts with you, thought by thought, action by action, and now episode by episode. I'll see you in the next one. Yours, you love. Bye bye.